Polar bear versus basilisk. The clash of natural might and arcane venom. In a realm where the stark beauty of the frozen north meets the dark whispers of ancient magic, a battle for the ages unfolds. A confrontation that seems as inevitable as the coming of winter and as timeless as the legends passed down by generations of wizards and warriors. This is a world where nature's raw power stands proudly against the sinister forces of arcane venom. Where a mighty polar bear, emblematic of the relentless, unforgiving wild, faces off against a monstrous basilisk, a creature of myth whose very gaze can turn the living to cold, unyielding stone. Beneath an endless expanse of ice and snow, the polar bear roams as a living colossus. Every step it takes on the brittle, frost-laden ground sends tremors across the frozen landscape, echoing the primordial heartbeat of a realm that has known only the endless cycle of winter. Its coat, thick and as white as freshly fallen snow, blends seamlessly with the blinding light of a winter sun that hangs low in a crystal-clear sky. This bear is not merely an animal but a force of nature, its muscles rippling under its fur as it moves with deliberate strength and an unwavering purpose. For countless seasons, it has ruled these icy wastes, a solitary guardian against the ceaseless barrage of blizzards and the biting chill of Arctic nights. Its eyes, deep and reflective as a frozen lake, hold within them the wisdom of millennia, a quiet understanding of the unforgiving, raw laws that govern the natural world, far beyond the reach of mortal warmth. In a labyrinth of shadowed glens and ancient ruins where magic has seeped into the very ice, legends stir of a creature that defies all natural order. The basilisk, an immense, sinuous serpent born of dark magic, lurks in the hidden recesses of this forbidding domain. Its scales glisten with an oily, iridescent sheen that hints at the deadly venom coursing through its veins. In many whispered accounts among the Potterhead communities and scholars of the arcane, the basilisk is said to possess a gaze so potent that even a fleeting glance can reduce a living creature to stone, leaving behind only an eerie statue in its wake. Its venom, more toxic than any known poison, drips slowly from fangs capable of delivering a single, fatal strike. In some versions of the legend, the basilisk's power is amplified by the very essence of ancient curses, an inherited malediction from a bygone era when magic ruled unchallenged over the natural world. On a day when the skies above are painted with the muted hues of winter and the air is alive with a palpable tension, the paths of these two formidable beings converge. The polar bear, ever vigilant in its icy domain, senses a disturbance, a shift in the delicate balance that has long maintained order in this frozen wilderness. There is a chill in the wind that speaks not only of low temperatures but also of an intrusion of something otherworldly, something laced with malevolent magic. The bear's ears twitch as it picks up the sound of slithering scales against ancient ice. A sound so subtle yet imbued with an ominous promise of peril. With cautious determination, it follows the trail, every sinew in its body coiled in anticipation of the inevitable encounter. At the heart of a desolate valley, where the ice forms towering spires and deep crevasses cut the land like scars, the basilisk makes its presence known. Lurking in the shadowed depths of a cavern carved by the relentless force of glacial winds, the creature emerges with a sinuous grace that belies its monstrous nature. Its forked tongue flicks in and out, tasting the very essence of the cold air, while its eyes, glowing with an eerie, venomous light, scan the frozen horizon. The basilisk moves silently, a ghost of ancient terror, its presence marked by a trail of melting frost and a subtle aura of dark enchantment. It is a creature born from the most potent alchemy of magic and malice, a living embodiment of curses long forgotten and powers that defy mortal comprehension. As the polar bear advances, the tension in the air becomes nearly tangible, a charged silence that hangs heavy over the icefield. The natural world seems to hold its breath in reverence for the impending clash. The bear, a titan of the Arctic, pauses atop a ridge of glittering ice, its keen eyes narrowing as they take in the sight of the basilisk coiled within the labyrinthine shadows of a frozen cave. The creature's venomous gaze, a weapon of supernatural lethality, glints in the half-light of the overcast sky. In that moment, the symbolism of the confrontation is laid bare, the brute, physical might of nature pitted against the insidious, unpredictable power of ancient magic. For the polar bear, every instinct honed by centuries of survival in an environment that spares no weakness urges it to act. It is a master of close-quarters combat, its formidable jaws and powerful limbs capable of subduing prey many times its size. Yet, it is a creature of the natural world, bound by the limits of flesh and instinct. It cannot fathom the dark sorcery that animates the basilisk, a creature whose lethal abilities are as much a product of cursed magic as they are of physical might. The basilisk, in turn, exudes an aura of malevolent calm. It is a being that commands fear not through brute strength alone, but through a potent cocktail of arcane power and ancient curse, capable of reducing even the most stalwart adversaries to lifeless stone with a single inadvertent glance. The stage is set upon a vast, frost-covered plain, where the silence of the ice is punctuated only by the distant howl of the wind and the faint, rhythmic crunch of the bear's heavy paws. The polar bear, driven by an unyielding sense of duty to protect its dominion, makes its way toward the cave where the basilisk has taken refuge. Each step is measured and purposeful, an embodiment of the raw, unrelenting power of nature. The ground beneath the bear's massive paws shatters with each stride, sending cascades of crystalline ice particles dancing into the frigid air like a shower of tiny, glistening stars. The polar bear's presence is both a declaration of territorial sovereignty and a challenge to the dark forces that dare to encroach upon its realm. Deep within the cavern's maw, the basilisk senses the approach of the intruder. Its serpentine form coils in the darkness, muscles rippling beneath scales that catch the faint light and reflect it in twisted, iridescent patterns. The basilisk's eyes narrow as it fixes its gaze on the approaching behemoth. There is a moment, a heartbeat suspended in time, where predator and curse meet in mutual recognition. The basilisk's legendary ability, its petrifying gaze, is a power that has reduced many to statues of cold, unfeeling stone. It is a gift of the cursed bloodline from which it descends. A magic so potent that even the mere sight of its eyes can shatter the very essence of life. But the polar bear is no ordinary foe. Its eyes, wide and unflinching, reflect not fear but a resolute determination, a fierce will to survive that is as ancient as the glaciers themselves. Then, in a sudden burst of primal urgency, the basilisk unleashes its hidden threat. With a sinuous, fluid motion, it slithers out from the depths of the cavern, emerging onto the open ice with an eerie grace. Its tongue flicks in and out, tasting the charged air as it prepares to confront the intruding force. The basilisk's gaze, when it meets the polar bear's unyielding stare, sends a ripple of tension through the frozen world. Even the wind seems to still in deference to the momentous event, as if nature itself were bracing for the clash of such colossal power. The polar bear, sensing the danger of the basilisk's direct assault, adopts a strategy born of instinct and experience. It knows that a head-on confrontation could prove disastrous if the basilisk's venomous gaze or toxic bite were to find its mark. Instead, the bear opts for a maneuver of stealth and speed, a sudden, lateral charge from the side, aimed at catching the basilisk off guard. With a guttural roar that reverberates off distant ice cliffs and sends shivers through the surrounding silence, the polar bear launches itself toward the serpent. The movement is a blur of raw power and primal agility, a testament to the bear's mastery of close combat honed over countless winters. In the split second that follows, the basilisk, so accustomed to striking from within the shadows, is momentarily disoriented by the unexpected flurry of movement. Its massive, venom-dripping fangs part as it lunges forward, seeking to deliver a lethal bite that would ensure its dominance. But the polar bear is faster. With astonishing precision, it sidesteps the basilisk's snapping jaws, its powerful maw opening in a ferocious display of natural might. In a single, decisive moment, the bear sinks its enormous teeth into a vulnerable section of the serpent's body, an exposed spot along the neck where scales are thinner and the curse of venom is more potent. The force of the impact is titanic, a clash of nature's brute strength against the malignant magic of the basilisk. For a heartbeat, time seems to stand still. The polar bear's savage bite, combined with its crushing grip, threatens to shatter the basilisk's cursed form. The serpent thrashes wildly, its tail lashing out and its eyes flashing with a mixture of fury and supernatural dread. The bear's teeth, sharp and unyielding, dig deep into the flesh. And there is a moment of terrible beauty in the raw, unfiltered clash, a vivid tableau of nature's ferocity colliding with the dark, enchanted essence of magic. In that moment, the frozen landscape around them becomes a silent witness to an epic struggle, the embodiment of life and nature's enduring might pitted against the insidious, ever-regenerating power of cursed magic. The basilisk's venom, a potent toxin that has felled many who dared to look upon it, begins to seep from the wound, a dark, iridescent fluid that glistens in the cold light. Yet, even as the poison threatens to course through its monstrous form, the basilisk's cursed nature grants it a dreadful resilience, a promise that it may yet rise again from the petrified remnants of its fallen foes. Its eyes, however, betray a spark of ancient terror, the realization that this adversary is unlike any it has encountered in the depths of its cursed existence. With a final, resounding roar, the polar bear tightens its grip, the raw, unbridled force of its natural power overwhelming the basilisk's dark magic. The serpent convulses, its life force ebbing away as the polar bear's ferocity takes hold. And yet, in the midst of this visceral victory, a lingering question hangs in the frigid air, a question that resonates with the timeless duality of nature and magic. Can mere brute strength and raw natural might ever truly conquer the immortal curse of ancient, enchanted evil? For every moment of triumph in this brutal melee is tempered by the knowledge that the basilisk, as a creature born of dark sorcery, may yet possess the uncanny ability to regenerate from the very brink of death, a power that defies mortal comprehension and challenges the very order of life and death. As the polar bear stands triumphant, its massive form heaving with exertion and its breath billowing in misty clouds that merge with the cold air, the remnants of the basilisk's once formidable might begin to recede. The serpent's body, now slack and lifeless, lies crumpled upon the frozen earth, a testament to the polar bear's decisive counterattack. Yet even in defeat, the basilisk's legacy endures as a cautionary tale woven into the tapestry of magical lore, a tale of dark power and the ever-present danger that magic, unchecked by the natural order, can wreak havoc upon the world. The frozen north, ever a realm of stark contrasts, seems to hold its breath as the polar bear surveys the battlefield, a desolate expanse of ice now marked by the scars of combat and the lingering echoes of ancient curses. The bear's eyes, fierce and unyielding, reflect not only the pain of battle but also a resolute determination that speaks to the heart of nature itself. For in the polar bear's victory lies a message that transcends the particulars of this deadly encounter, a message of the enduring, if transient, supremacy of natural power in a world where magic is as unpredictable as it is potent. In the days that follow, the tale of this epic confrontation spreads like wildfire among the Potterhead community and beyond, a story recounted in hushed tones in dimly lit corridors of enchanted castles and around the flickering light of campfires in the midst of winter's deep embrace. Scholars of magic, practitioners of the arcane arts, and lovers of epic fantasy find themselves captivated by the vivid imagery of the battle, the primal roar of the polar bear, the venomous hiss of the basilisk, and the timeless struggle between fire, ice, and the dark forces that lurk at the edges of mortal understanding. Every retelling adds layers to the legend, a reminder that, while nature's power may seem absolute, the dark magic that has seeped into the very fabric of the world is an ever-present adversary, capable of manifesting in forms both wondrous and terrible. The polar bear, with its fierce, unyielding strength, becomes a symbol of nature's defiance, a guardian of the wild who, even in the face of cursed magic, fights for the sanctity of life. The basilisk, in its monstrous and terrifying form, serves as a grim reminder of the dangers that lie hidden in the shadows of magic, a power that, if left unchecked, can strike down the mightiest of creatures with a single, fateful glance. As twilight descends upon the frozen wasteland, the aurora borealis begins its eternal dance across the sky, a shimmering display of color and light that casts a surreal glow over the scarred battlefield. The polar bear, its fur marked with the remnants of battle and its eyes alight with the fire of life, lumbers away slowly into the distance, leaving behind the fallen form of the basilisk as a silent monument to a clash that has forever altered the balance between nature and magic. In the quiet aftermath, as the frozen wind carries away the echoes of the epic duel. One cannot help but ponder the deeper symbolism of the encounter. The battle between the polar bear and the basilisk is a vivid allegory of the eternal struggle between natural order and the disruptive, often dangerous force of arcane power. It is a testament to the idea that while raw strength and physical prowess can vanquish many foes, there always remains an undercurrent of mystery in the world of magic, an uncertainty that even the most formidable creature must respect. For every victory in the realm of nature is tempered by the awareness that magic, with its capacity for regeneration and the uncanny power to defy death, may one day rise again to challenge the established order. Thus, the legend endures, a saga etched into the annals of both natural history and magical lore. A tale that will be recounted for generations among those who cherish the fantastical and the sublime. In the hearts of Potterheads and lovers of epic fantasy, the image of a mighty polar bear, symbolizing the indomitable spirit of nature, clashing with the venomous, petrifying gaze of a basilisk serves as a potent reminder of the intricate balance that sustains our world. It is a balance between life and death, between the immutable force of nature and the chaotic, unpredictable currents of magic. As the stars begin to pierce the deepening night, their cold light mingling with the soft luminescence of the auroras above, the frozen landscape slowly returns to a state of uneasy calm. The polar bear's footprints, indelibly marked upon the pristine snow, testify to the fierce struggle that took place, a struggle that, though it appears over, continues to reverberate in every gust of wind and every falling snowflake. And while the basilisk may be vanquished for now, the dark magic that once animated it lingers like a specter on the edge of mortal awareness. A reminder that in a world as ancient and mysterious as this, even defeat can give rise to future threats. In the end, the tale of the polar bear versus the basilisk is not one of simple victory or defeat, but a rich, multifaceted narrative, a chronicle of contrasts where the stark, unyielding power of nature meets the cunning, often malevolent force of magic. It is a story that invites endless interpretation, a narrative woven from the threads of myth, folklore, and the enduring human fascination with the forces that shape our existence. Whether recounted by a wizened professor in a candlelit classroom of a magical academy or whispered among adventurers gathered around a roaring fire in a snowy wilderness, this epic confrontation continues to inspire awe and contemplation. As dawn approaches once again and the frozen world stirs to the sound of a new day, the legacy of this battle lives on, etched into the ice, carried by the wind, and remembered in the hearts of all who dared to dream of a world where magic and nature are forever entwined. The polar bear, with its steadfast, unyielding might, and the basilisk, with its dark, venomous allure, remain eternal symbols of the delicate balance between creation and destruction. A balance that defines not only their world but the very fabric of myth itself. And so, beneath the endless tapestry of a winter sky and amidst the silent majesty of the frozen north, the legend of the polar bear and the basilisk stands as a timeless ode to the eternal dance of life. A vivid reminder that even in the face of the most formidable magical curses, the raw, unbridled power of nature will always find a way to roar back into existence. It is a legend destined to be told and retold, a story that will echo through the ages, a story of bravery, of sacrifice, and of the eternal struggle between the forces that govern our universe.